for a little while. I'm sticking up my Palo Santo. I can do it up close. Love that smell. Hello, let's do this again. Thanks for joining in today. Today is Saturday here, is it? Yes. And Easter weekend is on its way. If you're still using incense, I would really recommend this. Palo Santo is like natural 100% like old wood. And for me, it is a very grounding and healing effect. And it also just smells amazing. Just gonna put that into my eye. Alright. That's not very smart. There we go. Hello. Wow, my hair looks very messy today. But I don't really care because today is a day of sharing. That's why sharing is caring, right? So no meditation for today, no breathing exercise, no yoga practice. Then I want to guide you into it. Today I decided to just talk a little bit about me, about why I'm here, about what I'm doing, and how I got into this kind of point in my life. So if this is the first video watching of the channel, my name is Rahima, and thank you for watching. So what I'm doing right now is sitting here on my bed talking to you guys, but also with a beautiful view of Amsterdam behind us. It is sunny outside. Spring is finally like in the air. And during this whole period, it's nice to go outside and soak in the sun. But keep your distance, right? All right, so excuse me. How did I get here? I'm not gonna go all the way back to from when I was born, but a little bit about my background. I grew up in the Netherlands in a very small village, I would say, called Sassenheim. Oh, that sounds very Dutch. And I grew up with my older sister, and obviously my mom, my dad, in a very friendly neighborhood. My parents broke up officially when I was 12 years old, but already it was a little, I was gonna say, starting from the age of 9, it went kind of like downhill with my parents. After my parents split up, me and my sis and my mom, we moved to a different city in the Netherlands, which is Leiden. It's a little bigger city and not too far also from Amsterdam. I would say half an hour by train or by car. Yeah, 12 years old, new city. Luckily my high school was already kind of in the city, so it was way closer for me to cycle towards that. After that I went to college, which I studied hospitality management. Yes, so I worked in hospitality since I was actually 14 years old. I started as an intern in this very amazing Grand Cafe or restaurant in Leiden. And I started to work there part-time next to my studies, and after my studies I started to work there full-time. Even got to a point where I was kind of like the manager or like the assistant manager as well with someone else. Until I realized one day I was done with my studies and I was like, oh, is this it? Like, I don't know what to do. I had my boyfriend and we both had like a full-time job, and I was like 19 years old, and I was like, is this it? Like, should I be getting married now and having kids and, you know, get a dog and buy a house? Well, the answer is no. As for my last year of my hotel school, we had to do our internship abroad, so we choose to go to Paris for 10 months, which was an amazing year. now sometimes even when I look back towards it, like we had this very tiny apartment, like luckily separated bedroom, but it was so tiny on the seventh floor with no elevator. And you can imagine Paris has those long, turning stairs, which was kind of a workout every day. And we also had to do our laundry outside, grocery shopping and stuff. It was so heavy, but it was such an amazing experience. The hotel I worked for, uh, I have to say, it was pretty hard in the beginning, when you're like, I was 17, I think, at that time, 17 years old. You're standing behind a reception, in a four big freaking star hotel, and you speak like basic school French. Yeah, people were getting angry. Like, Parisians are not, always fun to work with. But that's how I got to learn French fully and fluently now, after 10 months of standing behind a reception. Wow. So yeah, after my internship, I got back to the Netherlands, and then I started to work full time, in that restaurant in Leiden. Until one day I realized, no, um, I'm not ready to settle and to live this life. So I decided to drove to France with my car on my own to work at a campsite near Paris. Also in like the service areas on hospitality. I came there. It was like this, not a tiny, but like a tiny village where they had this like whole campsite. I never worked on a campsite before, and I'm also not a big fan of camping, actually. I did it once with one of my best friends. So, Lois, if you're watching, remember a holiday in France. We were like 15 years old for a month with her parents. So I arrived there, and it was a very international team. There were like Dutch people, French people, so it was like a mixed group of people to start the season, and it was like a season of 7 or 8 months, I believe so. And that was also such an amazing experience. Of course, I met like a Frenchman over there, so I decided to move to France, like to literally move to France. So I got back to the Netherlands after a couple of months, said like, hey mom, I'm just gonna grab my stuff and move everything to France because I'm finding the love of my life. I'm gonna live with him for the rest of my life. So there I went to the city hall, said like, hey guys, I'm moving to France, see you later. So I drove to France again, got all my stuff together and settled in with this French guy. But it was winter season, we had no idea what to do, and I was like, crap, I don't know this area, I don't know anyone, so I had to start over again. This is apparently what I'm very good at. Hey, I realized something here. After a couple of weeks, months of looking for jobs, we found a job at another campsite in Dordogne. I don't know how you say that in English, actually. We worked there also for a couple of months, where I met one of the most amazing people that I still have contact with. If you're watching, you know who I'm talking about. Agnès, ma belle. And after that season was finished again, and I was like, no, I can't wait for like winter season again to be finished and start in another camping season again. No, not for me. So I decided to move back to the Netherlands, and I said to my French boyfriend at the time, you can come with me and we can start looking for jobs in the Netherlands, which kind of didn't work out for him. So we decided to split up again, and here I was back in the Netherlands. So during that time, we are like scooping like a couple years forward now. I think I'm about like 21 right here. So I found an apartment to live with one of my closest friends, also Anna, if you're watching. Hello, my hon. So we lived together in this great apartment in Leiden, and I got back to my full-time job at this restaurant where I once started as this 14-year-old girl. I did a couple of like wine, how do you say that? Wine courses, where once again I've met also amazing people that I'm still in touch with. Like once or twice a year we try, to go out for dinner with the whole group. I think we're like 12 people or so. And of course lots of wine tasting, which was quite fun and also very, I've learned a lot. So got back at my job again, kind of like this assistant manager. Worked there full time, like day and night shifts. Had the best time of my life. Went out almost every night. Yeah, loved my single life until once again there was this point like, oh, there is something that I'm missing. Like I have this great apartment, I've got great friends, I've got this great job, I'm earning my money, I'm having fun. But there was also kind of the age when I started with yoga. And now I'm gonna say this is really where my life begins. As my sister is also a yoga teacher, she kind of taught me that like the first basic, like the first steps of this whole journey. And I remember we went to a holiday in Morocco and she was like doing her meditation and practice and journaling every morning. And me and my mom were kind of looking at her like, what are you doing? And now I feel you. Yeah, so at the beginning it was all like physical for me, like my yoga practice. Like I wanted to get stronger, I wanted to get more flexible. But once I get past that stage, I realized that there is so much more. Like this whole new world, this whole new journey is opening up. And I have to say, that was not easy. It's still not easy because you're so much more aware of like your body, like life situation, the people you hang out with, the food you eat, like the things you do, the things you watch, the things you listen, the books you read, like everything has such a big influence on your life. I'm coming back to that later. So let's skip again a little bit back where I was like 21, 22 years old. So I was like, okay, so I started kind of with my yoga practice. Like, what am I missing? And I'm kind of miss that happiness, from the inside. So I decided to leave again. I was 23 now, I think, at the time. But this time I was like, you know what? I'm going to backpack through Southeast Asia on my own because I've heard amazing stories and it was kind of the time where everyone did it. So I bought this backpack, left the apartment in the Netherlands because also my friend was moving together with his boyfriend, which was like the perfect timing. Left my job again. Sorry, like I left this job so many times and I always come back. So I've booked a single ticket to Thailand, of all places, to Bangkok. So here I am, 23 years old, ready to rock whatever is coming on her way. So yeah, 6 months I think of traveling in Southeast Asia, where I explored like a full moon party. Met like this insanely incredible, also a little bit of crazy people, and also where I know this sounds very cliche, but I'm not gonna say discovered myself, but I walked towards myself because I did my very first Vipassana there. If you don't know what a Vipassana is, it's like a 10 days of silent meditation retreat. And I was very impulsive because one of the guys that I've met during these travels, he said to me, I think that you should really do this. 2 days later, I was at the retreat. And I have to be honest here, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. With no idea what to expect, sitting for 10 days in silence for 10 hours a day is freaking hard. So as you can imagine, like your mind goes through a lot of places, like a lot of places. And I felt like I kind of had this breakdown where like old shit, sorry for my language, was coming up, like about the divorce of my parents, about this little girl who felt like afraid, insecure, not good enough, about that love. And this kind of opened another door also again of, being aware of how you're actually feeling. I wanted to stay longer. I was in Malaysia at the time, but I got like an infection in my teeth. I had a lot of dental problems. So I had to go back again to the Netherlands for a surgery, and it needed to heal for like a long, long period. So yeah, I came back to that restaurant again because I needed to work for another year. And 2016, we're talking about until 2017. And when everything was done again, I was like, I want to do my yoga teacher training. Now we're talking about like 3 years ago. Because I was so into like yoga and meditation about after that Vipassana, and I wanted to dive deeper into it and learn more and explore more and just be, you know. Once again, quit my job, said goodbye. They like now it's totally fine, you know. I can always come back and always kind of go. So this time I bought a single ticket to India. Yes, February 2017. I arrived on Valentine's Day in New Delhi. Wow, if you haven't been to India, you either love it or you hate it. But I love it. I hope I can go back there one day. But you have to mentally prepare yourself for it. So did my first teacher training, 200 hours of Hatha and Vinyasa, where I also met one of my very closest friends right now. She is in Melbourne, Australia. Hi, Vicky. I call her my Didi, which means sister. It kind of feels like this. India. Wow, incredible India, right? Traveled for a little bit also to Sri Lanka after my training. Met two another amazing friends who are in Switzerland right now. I feel like I'm just, saying who I'm really grateful for. So, hello, girls. I really hope I can visit you this summer if this whole kind of lockdown is finished. We lived also in Melbourne again for 2 years, but that's later during this timeline. Yes. Then after Sri Lanka, where I stayed for about a month, I needed some more time actually to dive more into that stillness and to kind of isolate myself for a longer period of time. I was actually still even hesitating about becoming a monk. Like, I'm not kidding. So I went to this incredible place in Italy. I know Sri Lanka, Italy doesn't really make sense, but I once went there for a holiday for a week, and it has changed my life. This place is in the mountains of Umbria. It's called Eremito Hotel, and it's like a design hotel slash monastery. So it's a very small hotel. It has like 12 rooms. Single, double, you can come with your partner or a friend. And it's like an hour drive from the train station up into the hills. You go very slow with this kind of big car. It was awesome. And I remember the first time I went there on holiday for a week, I came there inside in this very dark alley with like lights and candles, and you hear this Gregorian chanting in the background, and I literally had to cry. Like, this place is so magical. So check it out online. If the borders are open again, I can definitely recommend you to go there. So I volunteered there kind of for 3 months. I had my own room. I taught my yoga classes there in the morning. I just helped, with preparing lunch and dinner, kind of served, because dinner was always in silence. And everything there is included. You wake up, you listen to some chanting, you do your meditation yoga practice, you have this breakfast, you go for a walk, you read your book, you have lunch with incredible wine, silent dinner, another meditation, sitting by the fireplace outside, reading your book. It's just magical. Like, they call it a digital detox because you don't have any phone reception at all. And it's a great place for solo travelers, as you can find this connection with like-minded people. So I was there for 3 months. I worked with this incredible team of old Italian men who were cooking and working with love, like from their heart. And I have to say, 3 months was a long time, but I needed it. I needed that space. I needed that distance from my phone, from the whole social media, from the world, kind of, and to figure out what I really wanted in life. I don't know if I'm ever going to find out, but you can always hope, right? So yeah, I was in Italy, and at the time I was like, okay, I need to make a choice because I can't stay here for the rest of my life. I mean, I could, but I decided I didn't really want to live like a monk. Also, like, how did they call it? Like a digital monk, like a digital monk. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. I forgot the word. Maybe get back to me later on. Because they kind of live like monks, but it's like the new world, right? So they're allowed to go outside, they're allowed to talk to people, they're allowed to have sex, but still, very centered and on their own. So while I was there, and it was getting winter in Europe, it was about like October, and I was like, no, I don't want to go back to the Netherlands and have the winter there. So I bought a ticket to Australia, November 2017. And then this whole journey of 2 years Australia started. Luckily, I knew some people, like the two sisters I was talking about. Didi was also there. Found this amazing place to live. I have to say, I just got back like recently, very recently. Sorry, my nose is getting stuck. Excuse me, from Melbourne, like 3 weeks ago now. And I have to say, I miss it. Like, I miss the lifestyle, I miss the people, I miss the incredible coffee shops where your latte is just so perfectly made with not too much foam, with the perfect milk, the perfect temperature. I miss like the vegan, gluten-free, nut-free, onion garlic-free restaurants around the corner. I miss the incredible yoga studios. I miss my housemates, my friends. Yeah, it really felt like home. But I felt also that it was time to move back to the Netherlands. Because my visa was finished and I could go like on a different visa, on a student visa, but I didn't really felt like going back to school. And B, also I felt it was time to go back home because I kind of felt like I was running away. Or running away might be a big sentence, but I felt like I was leaving the Netherlands over and over and over again to find, what I was talking about, that happiness, that something was missing. And I found it. All along, I thought that external factors could make me happy. Like having this amazing apartment, like having amazing clothes, like going to the hairdressers, dye your hair blonde, like having a Mercedes underneath your nose, like having an amazing partner, having amazing yoga teacher jobs, having amazing friends, having an amazing love life. I mean, sure, all of these things are helping, but that's not it. It's not the point what I'm talking about. The thing what I'm talking about is what I found is that happiness inside, like that light inside of me. And I'm not saying that I'm this enlightened yogi. Wow, no, not at all. Because sure, I still have my dark days. I had a dark day like 2 days ago. But I know that even when I'm in this dark, kind of shitty, sad period, that I can also create my own happiness again. Then I am the creator of like my joy. Then I make my own decisions, that I make my own happiness. And you don't need like fancy clothes for that. You don't need like millions of dollars on your bank account. Like literally, I am broke. Also sharing, right? And I just felt it was time, to, I'm not going to settling down is still a big word for me, but to find a place that I can make my base, where I can kind of grow my roots and then just work from there, to expand and to grow and to live the life that I really want to live. Netherlands will always be my home, will always be my base. And I'm not saying that I will stop traveling. Like, who knows, maybe next year I'll sit in freaking, let's say, a place, Africa or like the US. I don't know. Um, I mean, I have that travel gen and I will always keep that, you know. But for now, I feel like now that I find that light, that love, that happiness here, I just want to feel it, how it is to be home with this light, to explore again how it is to be home, with the loved ones around me, with my family. Like, my sister is living 50 minutes away from me with the bicycle. I can see my two nieces. And I've just met like the second niece a couple of days ago for the very first time. She's 3 months old already. Like, see my friends, like, explore Amsterdam. Like, and I know during this whole COVID-19 situation, sorry, I also kind of call it a situation, is happening right now. Sure, it is crap. But it really gives us, and especially me, the time to actually just be here. What is not always easier for me because, I love to work, I love to be active, I love to share, I love to teach, I love to be creative. So this is just also an invitation for you to just be here. If you can be fully here, and I'm saying present in the here and now with everything that you're doing, and giving that this love and this light with whole your body, giving this awareness, magical things are unfolding and are happening. How hard this might be, how lonely you might feel. We've all been there. I've been there. I can still feel lonely sometimes. But if you do, just place the hand on top of your heart. And, spoke to one of my friends yesterday on the phone, Liz, if you're watching. Hi, hon. She's like, it's okay. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel this anger. But just don't hold on to it. Just see if you can let it go. And when she said that, I felt so much proud, so much love for her. Because she's right. Like, what's the point of holding on to all these emotions, if everything is constantly changing? Life is always changing. Life is always unfolding. Every day is so different. Hell, even every minute is different. Every breath you take is different. Are you even aware of your breathing? Like, and I can go on and on and on. Like, life is constantly changing and unfolding and expanding and growing. Even in this whole situation, you can learn something from this. We can all learn something from this. And I think if we can learn together, if we can share, if we can connect, and it might have to be aligned right now, but we are growing way stronger. We are getting way more connected on a different level, but eventually when this is all over, and I hope that it will be soon, but then we can spread that love really from this whole part of our bodies with the rest of the world. So my message here for you today is, you do you. You just be whoever you want to be. You just do whatever makes you happy. But know that you are never alone. Because you always have this love, this light, this presence inside of your heart. I know it. And I think you know it too. Thank you for listening to some slaps of my heart. and I'm always here to listen. So maybe you would like to make a video of yourself and just talk a little bit about, what's going on in your life or how you got into this point of your life. You're more than welcome to share it with me. I can give you my private email address, or you can find me on Instagram and you can ask me, even WhatsApp. I'm very happy to connect with you wherever, in whatever kind of reason that is possible. So know that you're seen. I know that you're allowed. You are, dear soul. Okay, have a beautiful Easter weekend and enjoy some sunshine if you can. Go outside, breathe in some fresh air, spend some time in nature. And once again, I really can recommend this Palo Santo. It's magical. Okay, bye peeps. Love you.